Okay, my special ass, beautiful ass, magical ass goddesses. So, it's your girl Kayla back with another video. And I've got another story time video for you. Before I get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure you hit the bell notification so that every time I drop a video, you'll be the first to be notified. Also, make sure you give this video a thumbs up because, yeah, your girl got a story to tell, right? This is a story about why I don't let friends hook me up. Now, complete disclaimer, this was a little partially my fault, right? Like, this was when I was real young. Like, I was like 16, 17 when this happened. And I let a friend hook me up that I shouldn't have. Like, nowadays I know better, but back then I really didn't. So let's get into it, right? So in high school, I had this friend, and we're gonna call her Corinne, right? I had this friend named Corinne, and she was a really, really sweet girl, but like we were night and day, and how we managed to be friends, I don't even remember how we became friends. I want to say it was from we had a class together in high school or something, but me and Corinne, we were cool, As time grew, we became more and more cool, began hanging out around each other all the time. And then like out of nowhere, it was just like, it was me and Corinne and me. Like that's all it was. Wherever you saw me, you saw Corinne. Wherever you saw Corinne, you saw me. We were like peas and carrots, right? Went everywhere, did everything together. Now, the irony of this is that me and Corinne were complete opposites. When I was younger, I was very timid. I was very to myself. Like I socialized, but like it was kind of in a very like standoffish way. Like I fuck with you, but I don't really fuck with you kind of like way, I was just on my own little thing or whatever. So, I wasn't necessarily the most outgoing. Like that was not, I didn't get the most outgoing award in high school. Kind of stayed in my lane and, kept my circle to a minimum. But when me and Corinne kind of started hanging out more and more, I'm like, okay, I guess this could work. She was very, very social. I was not. I was like the timid, shy person, barely talking to anybody. One of the biggest differences between the two of us was, y'all, when I tell you like Corinne was loud, like just saying she was loud is a little bit of an understatement. Like, y'all, she was so loud. Like when Corinne walked in a room, you knew she was there. Like she was going to make her presence known. Like her personality, I don't care how big the room was, her personality was not big enough for said room, right? She was like, I don't care if we were in a completely packed nightclub with music banging, you would still hear Corinne over all of that. Like, and I am the exact opposite. Like, I could tolerate it better a lot then, and nowadays, like if I came across her and I'd be like, bitch, we cannot be friends. You were just too much. But back then it was just kind of like, I knew she was a sweet person. I knew she didn't have any ill intentions at heart. She was a good person. So I was just like, we're a little different, but we can still kick it, whatever. So we got to be real good friends, and she would always give me little advice about stuff because when I tell you, once again, we were complete opposites. Like that was still kind of very in my tomboyish days. Like I would wear gym shoes all the time, and they always had to be baggy and hanging off my feet, and jeans and sweatshirts and t-shirts. Like I hadn't gotten into my girly girl transformation yet, right? But Corinne was already there. Like every day when she left the house, she was dressed to the nines. I can't even to this day remember a time I ever saw her in a pair of gym shoes. She did not do gym shoes. She always had on heels. She was that type of chick with a matching purse to her outfit and her shoes, like, just together. She was super light skinned and had this long red hair. Like, like she made sure she was presentable every time she left the house. Okay. So yeah, we were complete opposites, but we still, we vibed, it was a vibe. So as we spent more time together, she was a lot more mischievous than I was. But that was also because she had a mother that was a lot more lenient than mine was, right? Her mom didn't mind her going out, having experiences, doing different things. And then, you have my strict ass mother who like, I would have boyfriends call or guys who were interested, and she would just hang up in their face and like, don't call her again, click. Like I tell you, my mom was no joke. Like my mom was no joke. So So, you know, a lot of the mischievous things that I got myself into was often on the low, you know, with her knowing as little about it as possible. And, you know, most of the time I ended up getting away with a lot of the things that I did, A, because I was slick about it, and B, you know, even if it was something like me coming in the house late, like I got good grades. So, you know, my mom didn't really trip like that. So, you know, me and Corinne would start hanging out after school and going to, you know, school events like dances and football events and stuff like that. So, you know, we became real cool. So one day she comes to me and she's like, oh my God, girl, let me tell you, I met this dude and oh my God, he is like everything. Like, oh my God, that's going to be my husband and we going out on a date and he got a friend and I told him I would bring you. And I'm like, what, bitch? What, say what? She's like, yeah, I told him, you know what I'm saying, I got a girl that I can bring, that he can bring one of his boys and we can make it like a little double date. And I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, I didn't ask for that. Why would you do that, B? So she's like, you know, basically made it seem like I was tripping and everything was all good. And, you know, we would have fun and, you know, they had money and they looked good and it was this and it was that. And I was just like, ugh, I don't want to do this, but for the sake of hearing you shut the fuck up, like, whatever, let's, I'll entertain it. Bad idea. Yeah, so in order to get away with this, because I told you my mom was so strict, we kind of had to, you know, pull a little gypsy do on my mom. So I told my mom, you know, my mom had met her and, you know, she was okay with me hanging around her and liked her. So I told my mom, I'm like, you know, I'm going to go over Candace's house and spend the night. And she's like, okay, fine, whatever. So cool. Got that out the way. Bing, bop, boop. That's what my son says. So bing, bop, boop. Go over to her house. The guy is supposed to be picking her up, both of us up from her house, right? So we're getting ready and everything, and he calls, and, you know, she's explaining how to get to the house and everything. So they finally get there. Yeah. Now she's talking about how, you know, they got money and nice cars and all this other stuff. Now, because, you know, I told you this happened when I was younger and I'm not really trying to date myself, but I guess I probably will in telling the story. But back in the day, like, dudes used to drive like conversion vans, like them creepy ass shits that like look like when they drive around, if they're all white, like they're looking to pick up young children with the bubble windows. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about, like that type of van. Pulled up in that type of van with some little teeny tiny rims on them. I had never seen baby rims before. This car had baby rims, y'all. Baby rims. Like, I didn't even know they made rims that small. And then with sounds in it, right? So I'm looking like this cannot be them. Oh, but it was. It was them. So she starts walking to the car. Her guy gets out. And he's like, hey, you know, what's up, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you know, this is my friend Kayla. So, you know, Corinne is just kind of all excited and like, you know, we're going to go out and have a good time and, you know, come on. So I get in the van, and on the way to the van, he like, oh yeah, my guy in the car. So I'm like, this should be fun. So I get in the car and y'all like... It was like a Pimp My Ride gone wrong. It was dark as fuck on the inside of that bitch. Like, they tried to put up like these little like string lights around the inside that I believe were purple, and like it had like pillows. It was supposed to be like a Austin Powers like love machine van, but just it was terribly done. Excuse me. Not only that, but like, how you gonna try to like create a comfortable space, and then like you got these big old speakers all over the place, because I told you like the car had sounds in it or whatever. So I'm just looking around as I get in like, oh my God, this is so tragic. And they were fucking smoking, which at the time I did not smoke, so like I'm thoroughly irritated at this point. I look over and I see his little friend sitting there, and he just like, oh, what's up, Ma? How you doing, Ma? And I'm just like, this is not going to go well. I cannot remember like every last single detail. I can't remember every last single detail of the day, because when I tell y'all, like, I tried to forget this as much as I possibly could. And like the confusing part about it was like Corinne was just like having the time of her life. Like, she over up front because her guy was driving, and she up front with him, and they up there chatty Cathy and just a laughing and a kiki and just having a good time. And no, you stop, no, you stop. And I'm just sitting back there with dude who's just like, so what you do for fun? I'm just like, Jesus, take the wheel. Like, please, just no. So the whole time I'm irritated. I'm ready to go. She's trying to talk me out of it. Like, no, you just need to open up more and relax, girl, and we chilling and we having fun. I do remember we were out for like 4 or 5 hours. And like I said earlier, like, I cannot tell you what we did in that time span, because all I know is I was irritated. Like, I was so ready to go. After the first hour, every half an hour on the hour, I would look at Corinne and be like, it's getting a little bit late. Like, can we take off? Can we go? Can we go do something else or something? She's like, calm down, blah, 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 blah. I'm so mad at this point. So after him and his guy finished smoking for God knows how long, eventually one of them is like, man, I'm hungry. I could use something to eat. And I'm just like, if I don't get anything out of this, at least let it be some fucking food. Like, if you can't do anything, you could at least feed a bitch. Like, whatever. So everybody decide that we're going to go to Taco Bell, right? So we get to Taco Bell, and once again, I'm dating myself. This is also like right when Taco Bell first started serving chalupas. So we get there, and everybody like, yeah, fuck me up with some chalupas, right? So we get to order it, and dude taking everybody order in the car, and dude that I'm supposed to be with, but I ain't even really talking to at this point. He like, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't really got nothing on me right now, but you know what I'm saying? Next time we go out, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? I just forgot my, like, yeah. At this point, I was stick a fork, done, like done. And because I was my young, naive version of myself, I was nice enough. I bought him like 2 chalupas, and like the whole time he just sitting there smashing them bitches like he ain't ate in weeks, y'all. Like in weeks, I'm just these bitches. I mean, making noises, tomatoes falling all over the fucking place. Like, y'all, it was such a hot mess. At that point, I didn't even want my food. I'm just like trying to take little bites out of it, and I'm just like, I'll save it for later. At this point, I pull Corinne to the side, and I'm just like, I'm ready to go. Like, not kind of ready to go, not just unsure about if I'm ready to go. Like, for sure, I'm ready to go. So eventually, she ends up, talking to her guy, like, oh, my friend ready to go. And I'm just like, why would you tell him that? But I mean, if it's not clear by my face and my actions and, how my general vibe, I don't know how to get y'all to understand that I'm not having a good time right now. I would just much rather check out this situation. So of course she's doing her little thing, the two of them are talking like, well, what should we do? Where should we go? I'm like, home. That's where I want to go. I want to go home. It's just the only place I want to be right now. I ain't even got to be in my house. I can be in my house or I can be at her house, but I'm not trying to be anywhere near the two of y'all. So I'm just like, girl, like, you can reschedule this. You can redo this. Like, I don't want to be involved. So if we could just wrap it up. After about 30 more minutes of trying to convince her to do just that, she finally did, and he dropped us back off at her house. And I'm just looking at her, and she's like, girl, we gonna have a ball next time. And I'm like, what you mean next time? No. There will be no such thing, as far as I'm concerned, as a next time for this whole situation. Like, it's dead in the ground, bury it, put the dirt on top, plant some flowers, like that kind of dead. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. So yeah, that was my one experience of actually going out on a blind date. And when I tell y'all, like, I wouldn't even consider it. It wouldn't even be a minor thought to me. Like if somebody be like, hey, let me hook you up with a friend, I'd be like, how about no? Like unless I can meet them beforehand, interact with them in some type of way to get a understanding of what type of person they are. Like blind dates are the worst. And I don't think it's unintentionally so. I think a lot of people think that they know others when in actuality it's just kind of like, I got some quirks about me that you probably don't realize. And what my standards are and what your standards are, may be different. And sometimes, you may have some friends that don't quite realize that or see or understand exactly what it is that you want and that you're looking for out of a relationship. So I've had to learn that the hard way, but I'm grateful that I went through it at that early age, because I hear so many more stories about women who encounter that at a later age, and sometimes unfortunately how much more tragic it can be in those situations. So that's the one thing to always kind of take from your dating failures, is just to know, okay, this is what the situation was and this is why I got out of it, and now I know how to move forward should I ever be put in this situation again. And I just choose not to put myself in that situation again, because I'd rather not be disappointed. So yeah, that's all I have for this story time video. Like I said before, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. If you want to email me about coaching services, you can reach me at divinefemrising11@gmail.com. And until next time, my loves, take care.